up on this week's show, we find out if the Tata Curve has the substance to match its bold looks. As a driver, you have to reach across the passenger side and find your cup holder on the other side, which is totally insane and inconvenient, never mind so unsafe. The Aston Martin Aramco Formula One team gets ready to tackle the 2026 season.
Everything's exciting about this next chapter, how we've grown as a team, the potential we have as a team to fight for race wins and championships.
And Ernest gets behind the wheel of the finest exports, the BMW X3.
Think of it as the BMW 320i or 323i, just below the higher power versions, the best seller. That's what this is.
Thank you for tuning in to Ignition GT, where every week we bring you the very best automotive news and reviews from across the globe. Joining me today in studio to share the insights with us are two familiar faces, Alan Rosemeyer and Riyad Jaffa. Oh, thank you guys for joining us. Let's start with you, Riyad. Anything exciting that's been happening? Any new cars you've been driving?
Haven't had much cars.
Yes.
Obviously, just Tata being one of them.
Yeah.
And a whole lot of cars to come, I must say. But
Is there anything you're actually looking forward to getting behind the wheel of?
Well, look, I'm getting BYDs now after this.
Yeah.
So I've been waiting a long time for those electric vehicles. I hear they're very good. And yeah, there's a few others obviously that are coming through.
Yeah.
I don't have confirmation of the exact dates. But yeah, there's a lot of new cars coming. We know Lepus around the corner is one of them.
Yes.
And yeah, we'll just have to take it as it comes, one at a time, and see what's cooking and what's almost cooking.
Almost cooking.
Yeah, almost cooking.
Yeah.
Because some of them do miss a bit here and there, but they're all good cars in general,
Yeah.
and I'm definitely looking forward
Most
to it.
certainly. And yourself, Alan?
Well, there's been a lot coming through over the last few weeks, quite a selection, but I wanted to just mention you. Lassetti was there from Ignition
Yes.
at the test drive of the new LDV D90.
Yeah, and how did you find that?
This is an interesting one because it's got the goods to challenge the established guys.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about here. It's a big family SUV, large, 3 diff locks, for example.
Oh.
So now we just drove it on the road.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to take it off-road.
Let's hope that we get to see your review taking this car off-road. That's exactly what we want to see. We shift our focus now from China to India, while Indian-built vehicles like the Suzuki Baleno, the Renault Kiger and Kia Sonet have become a fixture on the South African roads. It was Tata that first introduced South African motorists to the vehicles from the subcontinent in the early 2000s. Now, after the absence of almost 10 years, the brand has returned to Mzansi with a range of new models, one of the most intriguing of which is the Curve. Let's take a look. After a 10-year hiatus, Tata is officially back in South Africa, and they've come guns blazing with a few models under their wing. Now, this is the Tata Curve, which I feel is the more futuristic of the lot. Let's talk a little bit about the design, because I think that's what stands out about this car and what turns heads. The front end bears a symmetrical grille with chrome details, LED daytime running lights, and you also have these big housings for the lights on either side. So I do think the front really looks quite attractive. So let's move over to the side profile. We'll start with the tires. You have these 18-inch multi-spoke wheels. It also has black plastic cladding across the whole car as a trim, blacked outside mirrors, and you also have a blacked out roof line as well. One thing I absolutely dislike has to be these flush door handles. It's so flimsy. I do think it feels like it's going to break, and it's not the easiest to open, especially when you do have things in your hand. So if you really can stop this, please do. Moving over to the rear of the car, which I feel is the party. You have the singular light tailpiece, which has this maybe Lamborghini sort of inspired design. Not mad at it. You also have those housings as well on both sides that have the rear lights. Now let's look at the boot space, which is massive, massive tons, 500 liters worth of boot space. And I do think it's one of the biggest in that segment. Of course, in the top end car, you do have an electric tailgate. On this one, you have to just use your muscles. As you can see, it does say premium. It does say soft touch materials. It's got this deep maroon sort of colored interior theme inside. On the seats, a bit of the dash area as well as the side panels. In front of us, you have a 10.5-inch infotainment screen, has Apple CarPlay as well as Android Auto. You also do have your flat bottom steering wheel in front of you. What I do not like about the steering wheel is that it does not have a telescopic reach. So you can adjust it up or down, but you cannot go in or out. So I do think they missed the mark with that. One other thing that they definitely missed the mark with has to be cup holders, because there's nothing on the side of the doors. This is where you find your cup holder. So as a driver, you have to reach across the passenger side and find your cup holder on the other side, which is totally insane and inconvenient, never mind so unsafe. That is very strange. This derivative gets a panoramic sunroof, which the baseline model does not get. The Curve, I must say, I also was quite impressed by the sound system. These are JBL speakers, 8 surround speakers all around the car. So that, I must say, I'm completely impressed with. You're my boo thing. Like, whoa, do I know? I know. Hey, 8 surround speakers and a subwoofer. Ooh, let's go. So I've been driving this car for about 4 or 5 days now, which is almost a week. And although I was very impressed by how it looks and the interior and especially the sound, my problem was how it drives. Acceleration is not instant. It almost takes 5 seconds for it to spring into action and remember, hey, we're actually being summoned to move. There is definitely a lag in power, and I also do think it's largely underpowered. It is a 1.2 turbo petrol with a 7-speed automatic dual transmission, and it will give you 88 kilowatts. It feels, very underpowered. I've got my foot down. I'm going on an incline right now, and it almost has a lag, and then it starts going. But the great thing is that once it starts rolling, once it starts driving, it's very seamless. And I think if you do want it just to have a little bit more torque, instant power, you can put it into sport. And it took like 2 seconds, jumped into sport, and now we have exactly the kind of power we need. I do think, however, I really would love to feel how the manual transmission feels. I do think that it will drive much better than the automatic transmission. So fuel efficiency, I have now been sitting on 12 liters per 100 kilometers, which is not so good. I have managed to get it down to about 8.5, not quite at the claimed 6 liters per 100 that Tata says the Curve can do. So starting price for this car is 350,000 Rand for the 1.2 litre turbocharged pure model, which is the base model. And then you have the creative, and that will cost you 420,000 Rand. And finally, you have this, the Accomplish, at 500 120,000 rand. Half a mil does feel a little bit hefty, but you also are getting a lot of tech in this car. You are getting a lot of safety features in this car, which I should mention is ABS with EBD. You also have hill assist, you have cruise control, you have 6 airbags and a 5-star NCAP safety rating. Does feel quite nice to drive. I do think the suspension is also quite good in this car. And in terms of cabin noise, well insulated cabin, you don't hear a lot of the wind noise. It really does not feel cheap. It does feel like they've come out and put some good materials together. I mean, it's not altogether perfect, it's not altogether luxurious, but I do think that what they have done is enough to suffice and say you have a really, really good quality car. The Tata Curve is by no means a perfect car, and it definitely has some small issues that can be overlooked if you are shopping in this segment. And talking about the segment, it is up against some heavy hitters from Kia and Hyundai, which are well established. But I do think if you are shopping in this segment, it definitely is worth a consideration because it does stand out from the rest. Welcome back to Ignition GT. Tata announced its return to the South African market in August last year, and the ensuing months have seen an aggressive product rollout, with 4 models already introduced and more set to follow in the coming months. Leading that offensive is the bold-looking Curve, but is it good enough to draw people into the Tata showrooms? Well, gentlemen, only you guys can tell us because you got to drive the car and see it and feel it. What do you think of the product, and is it enough ultimately? We'll start with you, Alan.
The Curve is really an interesting product. It looks great. And I'm going to say, I think it appeals to the female market probably even more. Not that there's any reason I wouldn't drive one.
It just looks pretty. It's a pretty car.
Got the looks.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got the look.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
Yeah.
And it's full of features. It depends which model you choose as well, obviously. There are a couple of little things that I think could be fixed. For example, no cup holders.
That did annoy me so much. I did not believe it. I was like, there's no way it has to pop out from somewhere here.
Correct, yeah.
And it's like in the cubby hole, then the back, there's a little cup holder.
Yeah.
For the rear seats,
Yeah.
The other thing is, it really is crying out for a more powerful engine.
Yeah.
It goes nicely. It goes well. You put it into sport mode, and you can, if you want to, wring it a little bit by the neck.
Yeah.
You can get performance out of it, but at the expense of fuel economy, obviously.
Of course, yes.
The positive side of it is it looks great. The top model is packed with features, as you expect from the Chinese brands. So they're matching them in that respect. The ride is nice. The handling's not bad at all. I've got no issues or complaints. And as I say, it's one of those cars that you'll buy because you just love the look.
Just how it looks. I definitely think so. Maybe let's pull you in, Riyadh, there. I mean, what did you also think of the drive itself? And just stacking it up against its competitors, where do you think it sort of fits? Is it enough to sort of, sway consumers in that direction?
Yeah, so look, it took some of the words out of my mouth, but it definitely needs more torque. There's no doubt about that, because that affects the fuel consumption, and you've got a screaming engine. It's a big body. You need a little bit of bigger engine. A lot of positives, Eddie said, and obviously some drawbacks. The positives, it's got aesthetic appeal. It's 100%. It's a looker. It's very spacious. There's a lot of headroom and legroom, and that's not because I'm short. Even the big guys fit nicely. What I do like on the top of the range, the one I had, I'm not sure if I'm assuming you had the same one. The combination color of the white with the red interior, that was enticing.
Yeah.
So there's good and bad in the car. And look, they've made a comeback now. They've come in the country.
Course, yeah.
Obviously, to answer your question, they're going up against the main opposition now is the Chinese. Everybody's competition now is the other Chinese. And the model is on par. But I think for this particular one, especially the top of the range one, for what you're spending, I'm going to have to say there is better. And they've got to do some... Look, it's not bad. It's not bad. They've come back. I don't want to say with a bang. They've come back. and they bringing 2 other models this year, which I believe. But I think there is room for improvement. And it's not a big improvement, I must say, but there's definitely room for improvement. And I'm sure they'll come around it, you know.
It's also not a mainstream. It's a bit of a niche model.
Yes.
So I don't know if they're looking for massive numbers out of the Curve. They're looking for the fact that people notice it, see it.
It's a boutique-esque sort of looking car.
Exactly. And that's why I'm repeating where I say female appeal. Definitely is very big on that as well.
And if I may add to that, it's got a high ground clearance, which female, once again, they love to sit high.
Of course,
and then you feel safer. So look, there's a lot of positives in that car.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Well, let's talk about a brand that a lot of men would love to be in, the Aston Martin. And the Aston Martin Aramco Formula 1 team officially launched this season with the unveiling of the 2026 livery in Dhahran, Saudi Arabia in February. And as part of the launch program, a concept car featuring the AMR 26 livery was also revealed. There's more to the team's strategy for the season than a new paint job, though.
We are at the team launch today in Aramco headquarters to launch the first car in 2026, and we have a lot of hopes, a lot of hard work from everyone into this car, and we are very excited.
It's always a special day when you see the car for the first time. For us, it's a big opportunity entering this new regulation era with the collaboration with Honda, with Adrian joining the team.
We decided to follow a single philosophy. That's what we've pursued, and the car you see before you is the result of that philosophy. The difference between a power unit that's supplied to you and being a full works team is many, and particularly with this huge integration of the power unit into the chassis is absolutely key, and that means the integration of Honda with the fuel and lubricant supplier, Aramco and Valvoline of course. Such a lot of passion and pressure and condensed cycle and commitment from Lawrence of course. His commitment to the project and to Aston Martin has been absolutely stellar.
Adrian's input is invaluable. He's the most unique individual in designing a Formula One car with the greatest track record. We have a great partner in Honda, who's exclusively manufacturing an engine to fit in the design of Adrian's chassis, so a very close collaboration working together. Aston Martin's never had that. We've had customer engines only in the past, which is a very different experience than having a bespoke partner.
Engineers in Japan and the UK have worked closely together to integrate AMR 26 and the RA626H into the unified package. As we take on this new era of Formula One, we will compete not as 2 separate companies, but as one unified team. Formula One is a proving ground for Honda engineers, and it will continue to be so in the future.
The hybrid power unit is going to be crucial in terms of performance, and then together with that we have for the very first time full sustainable fuels.
We've been working closely with Aston Martin since 2022 on technologies for motorsport. We've also worked with Formula 1, Formula 2, Formula 3, and F1 Academy to supply them with our low-carbon fuels. And we're hoping this year, with the introduction of ProForce Plus, our 100% FIA-compliant sustainable fuel, to be able to learn even more from the testing and racing of this season.
I mean, everything's exciting about this next chapter, how we've grown as a team, the potential we have as a team to fight for race wins and championships.
For the very first time, we have all the pieces of the puzzle, together. We have the facilities, we have an engine that works only for us, we have the sustainable fuels, we have Adrian Newey. I think it's one of the most important seasons for Aston Martin so far.
This is BMW's best-selling X3. It's won Car of the Year, And I've been told by a friend that's just driven it that it's perfectly average. Now, is that a bad thing? The styling on this car is anything but average. It is a little polarizing though, but we all have to admit that BMW styling has grown on us over the last couple of years, and this X3 is no different. The X3 has gotten much bigger over the years, especially when compared to the earlier generations, and this one is no different. Look at the size of those wheels, and those are 19-inch wheels, and they look tiny. Now, that to me contributes to the car sort of blend into the background appearance, even though it has that controversial styling. Bigger wheels would look much nicer, but do you want that on a daily drive though? Now, once you step inside, it does kind of blow you away in a very interesting way. The design here by the vents and the door locks are interesting and unique. The screen goes all the way across, but not in an intrusive way. It does have BMW's new software system, which I find a little bit slower than the old one in some ways, but it works, it's intuitive. And I think that's what makes this car, I wouldn't say average though, certainly above average in many ways. I don't think this is average at all. I think this is quite striking. There aren't any buttons, of course. It's 2025. Nobody likes buttons these days. But having said that, after some of the cars I've driven recently that also don't have buttons, these buttons here, they work. They are intuitive, they look like they belong where they're supposed to be, let's put it that way. And then you've got these vents over here that work on a haptic slider, which is quite interesting, and it's interesting looking as well, some of this. I do think that once you get used to it, it kind of fades into the background because everything is so smooth, nothing stands out, and maybe that's what BMW wanted. The steering wheel isn't perfectly round, it's kind of square, which again makes you feel like you're in this cockpit setting, and the controls are on the steering wheel, but all very familiar if you've ever driven a BMW before. Then you've got the familiar systems like this rotary dial in the middle, which is so similar to BMW's iDrive system. This car comes with some of the sporty touches, including these seats. I'm currently averaging about 8 liters per 100, which is on the high side, I have to say. But I do think it's possible to get much lower on this car. If you want ultimate fuel consumption, of course, go for the diesel. But I can't help but notice how good this 2-liter is. 310 newtons, 140 kilowatts, and an 8-speed gearbox is ample. It's not going to blow your hair back, and the engine does sound like it is working hard, but you do get that mild hybrid system, which I do feel in this car is not quite as gimmicky as many other mild hybrid systems. At just over 1.069 million rand, or just under 1.1, adequate it better be, because that's a lot of money to be spending, but South Africans love this type of model. Think of it as the BMW 320i or 323i, just below the higher power versions, the best seller. That's what this is. I think the word average is an unfair statement when it comes to this car. Adequate, certainly, but I think the word that comes to mind for me is balanced. It does a lot of things really well, does a lot of things above average, maybe not excellent, but well enough to be Car of the Year, and something you should seriously consider if you're in the market for an SUV like this one.
And all too soon, we've come to the end of another episode. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure having you guys here.
Always great
Always
being
and
here.
only a pleasure. Yeah.
Hope to see you soon. Well, be sure to join us again next week when Gillette samples the eagerly awaited Lexus RZ. We take a look at LDV's very first SUV offering to hit South African roads. And I discover my adventurous side in the grueling Land Rover Defender Trophy.